Hello everyone, in today's session we are going to discuss spotting errors theory part 11. Let's begin. First of all, the index, introduction of direct and indirect speech, important rules of direct and indirect speech, tenses of reported speech, specific rules relating to interrogative sentences, questions beginning with WH words. So in this index you will find these things. I hope you have understood. Let's read the disclaimer. The images used in a slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Direct and indirect speech. First of all, we need to know what is direct and what is an indirect speech. Let's read the definition. When we convey the words of a speaker in his actual words, this is called direct speech. So when we use speaker's actual words, it becomes a direct speech. And when we convey the words of a speaker without using his exact words, this is called indirect speech. So in indirect speech, we have to do some changes. That's why it is known as indirect speech. I hope you have understood. Important rules. If the reporting verb is in past, the tense of the reported speech changes as following. As you know that direct speech has two parts. The first one is reporting verb and the second one is reported speech. So we have to do some changes in reported speech. So the changes are from direct speech to indirect speech. If there is a present definite tense in direct speech, you have to change it to past indefinite in indirect speech. From present continuous to past continuous. From present perfect to past perfect. From present perfect continuous to past perfect continuous. From past indefinite to past perfect. From past continuous to past perfect continuous. And for past perfect, there is no change of tense. And for past perfect continuous, there is no change of tense as well. I hope you have understood. Tense of reported speech. Change in future sentences, reported speech. Direct speech to indirect speech. If you find will shall in direct speech, you have to change it to would and should in indirect speech. From can to could, from may to might. And what about could, should, would? There is no change with it. Tense of reported speech. When the reporting verb is in past, words denoting time or place in reported speech change as following. So from direct speech to indirect speech, you have to change this to that, these to those, here to there, hence to thence, hither to thither, now to then, ago to before, thus to so, today to that day, tomorrow the next day or the following day, yesterday the previous day, last week, month, year to the previous week, previous month or year, last fortnight, the previous fortnight, the day before yesterday, the day before, the previous day. I hope you have understood the changes. Tense of reported speech. If the reported speech contains universal truth, proverb, mathematical fact, historical fact, habitual act, an expression of morality, or unchanged fact, the tense of the reported speech remains unchanged. So you don't need to change the tense of the reported speech if you find these things. Example, he said the sun sets in the west, which is a universal truth. It is a direct speech. So the direct one will be, he said that the sun sets in the west. This is an indirect speech. So as you can see that there is no change in the sentence or in tense. The teacher said, a stitch in time saves 9. A stitch in time saves 9 is a proverb. So again, we don't need to change the tense of the reported speech. So the correct indirect speech will be, the teacher said that a stitch in time saves 9. I hope you have understood. Specific rules relating to interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences can be classified into two types. Yes or no type. Questions that can be answered in yes or no. This is the first type. And the second type is WH questions. Questions beginning with WH words. What, where, which, who, how, etc. Yes or no questions. Use conjunction if or whether in place of that. Whether is used when the questions express an alternative. So you have to use if or whether in place of that while making indirect speech. Example, she said to me, do you like tea or coffee? So this is a question in direct speech. You have to form an indirect speech by writing, she asked me whether I like tea or coffee. So we have used whether here instead of that. Remove the question mark and the interrogative sentence. The question is changed into assertive sentence. And the formation of assertive sentence is, first of all, we need a subject, then a verb, and then other words. So we need to change the formation as well while making an indirect speech from direct. Reporting verb ask or asked is used in indirect speech. We can also use inquire or inquire of. Inquire of is used when an object follows it. For example, he inquired of me. Other rules in respect to the change of pronouns and change of tense are also to be followed. Example, she said to me, are you going to college? This is a direct speech. So we have changed this. She asked me if I was going to college. So here, what you can see that the second person you change to I, first person, according to the listener. Sometimes an answer is also attached with the main question. In that case, yes is changed into affirmation and no into negation. So you have to choose yes is changed into affirmation sentences or context, and choose no in negative sentences or context. She said to me, can you solve this question? No, I said. So the change will be, she asked me if I could solve that question, and I said I couldn't, or I replied in negative. I hope you have understood. Questions beginning with WH words. In questions beginning with WH words, no conjunction, that, if, whether is used. Instead, the WH word itself functions as a conjunction. So you don't need to use that, if, and whether if you find a question beginning with WH words. The WH word itself functions as a conjunction. The interrogative sentence is changed into assertive, and the formation of assertive sentence is, first of all, the subject we need, then the verb, and then other words if needed. Example, he said to her, what do you want? Which is a direct speech. So the change is, he asked her what she wanted. It is an indirect speech. As you can see that we haven't used any of these conjunctions like that, if, whether, but we have used WH word itself as a conjunction. I hope you have understood. Let's move further. So I hope you have learned this session, and let's meet in the next session as well. Till then, thank you.